Welcome to this latest edition of the Real Deal podcast. I'm, of course, your host, Cyril Gerald Quinn. This is episode 785 of the Real Deal podcast, getting real close to 800 episodes, just amazingly. Um, as always, for this NFL portion of the podcast, I am joined by one Robert Sapp. Mr. Sapp, how you doing tonight?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good. Glad to be here. Glad to be talking football with you.
And no question about it. We'll get right into it. So 3 weeks into this 3 weeks into the season, we kind of starting to get a feel of what the season's looking like. And this, oh, here we go. Here we go. And even though even though things won't really materialize until say November, when you really will get a sense to get to know the teams and what they're really about moving forward and into the long term in the playoffs and what have you. 3 weeks is a nice little sample size of what potentially may come about. So we have what's real or not. Is this team real or not based on their record? Is their record real or not? Here are a list of teams. I'm going to kick off with a team that you were zeroed in on, that kind of you put on my radar from the standpoint of wanting to discuss, and that is the Denver Broncos. What are your thoughts on the 3-0 Denver Broncos?
Yeah, thank you for leading with that, because I literally just finished watching the game, and like after I put my eyes on them, I was just like, I don't still know what to think of Denver, so I'm going to put them in not real, and I'm going to chalk it up. I'm going to look at their schedule, but I just went and watched that Jets game. Here's what I do know: the Jets are horrible. That I do know. They're horrible. How good Denver is still unclear. And so, especially at this point in time, and why I like this topic so much is that at the very least, you really get a sense right now who the teams that are real. You can really get a sense of that right now. Start to get a sense of that. And then anybody who's not in like, okay, this is a real team category is suspect. Denver's suspect right now. I appreciate their record, of course. And then like what really stuck out to me when I was at that defense and then going over some of the defensive numbers, I was like, ooh, they're doing a really, really great job. But I'm looking at their schedule right now, and the three teams they played are the Giants, Jaguars, and Jets. That should say everything. That's why they're points. Yeah. So right now I would have to put Denver in the category. I mean, they've only allowed 26 points. Right now I have to put Denver in the not real category based off the schedule. But as we know, starting off hot can be very, very beneficial for you later on, as you start to settle in. But if you ask me right now, based off of what I saw, literally just saw, and looking at the teams that they played, I have to put them in the not real category. Yeah. There's nothing that pops off on that offense at all. And even defensively, of course, they have Von Miller and some other players, but it wasn't like it was the Jets being horrible. That's why no points were scored. The Jets are just horrible.
Yeah, I mean they play. I mean, let's be honest. You're talking about the Jets, Jacksonville, and the Giants. I can make a case that those are the three worst teams in the NFL.
And you would not have to go far in that
case. I could really make that case. Yeah, they would fall in the category of not real. If this were a grade as far as a class, you would have to say incomplete from that standpoint. But I do like where the direction they're going in. That defense, I think the defense is legit.
It is.
They've done a tremendous job, even through the years where they struggled. That defense was always very good. It just was a product of how poor their offense was. When you looked at numbers, you couldn't. The numbers didn't tell the story because their offense, they didn't have a quarterback.
Yeah.
So I think the defense is legit. I think they will be a top 5 to top 10 defense even over the course of the season. I like some of their offensive weapons. Sutton, the running back Lindsey. and they do have a legitimate Judy. So they've started to add pieces offensively.
Melvin Gordon's there.
Gordon's there. No, yeah, Gordon's there. What am I about to say? And they have a legitimate NFL quarterback. Like,
Yep. Yep.
Great. By the way, it's a great story because we remember that he had a horrific leg injury where it was like, yo.
Yeah, talk about somebody you didn't think I was going to play again.
Yeah, no, it was bad. It was. I think if I'm not mistaken, it was almost life threatening.
It was. I mean, he tore that leg completely.
Yeah, shattered his leg. He shattered
all the things. Tore all the things.
I'm glad that he's back.
Yeah, PCL, AC, all the things.
All
the things. Yeah, it was bad.
I'm happy to see him back starting. And he is a legit NFL starting quarterback, which, you know.
But you understand why Denver's going so hard in the paint for Aaron Rodgers. Because it's like,
no.
With that defense, the weapons that you named around them.
Yeah, you put Aaron Rodgers
up at quarterback, like Bridgewater. I was thinking about it as I was watching. I was like, you put Bridgewater on that team that Peyton Manning won a Super Bowl with, the way that Peyton Manning was playing, it would be no difference and probably be better.
No,
right?
Exactly.
You give Bridgewater, you give a competent NFL quarterback the weapons around him, all around him, you can go.
I mean,
he's not going to hold you back. He's not going to be the reason you're not winning. What he can't do
is raise the level.
Is 37 seconds.
No, we'll talk about that. No,
that's what you can't. That's what he can't do.
No, he can't.
And that's why Denver's going so hard. I can see now why they're going so hard in the paint for Aaron Rodgers.
No, they know, and they know.
It makes sense with that defense. We could do some damage.
Oh yeah, no, we can be in a Super Bowl next year with Aaron Rodgers. That's what it's about. So I think we're on the same page with Denver.
Yeah,
they are. You know, we're not ready to put them into that real status, but they are improved though. They are an improved football team, and there is, for the first time since they won the Super Bowl, to me there seems to be a sense of a direction that they're going in. I can see some little light at the end of the tunnel.
Agreed.
For a 4 or 5 year period, I didn't know what the fuck exactly was going on, to be honest with you.
Fair. Very fair. They didn't know what was going on.
They didn't know what was going on. So
very fair.
So, you know, we'll see what transpires moving forward. And I'll say this for Denver, and I'll compare Denver to kind of like the Brooklyn Nets in the NBA. When you're trying to draw a superstar to your team, the first step is being competent. So Brooklyn makes the playoffs the year before last before they get Durant and Kyrie. Kyrie and Durant says, "Oh, this team is. If we put us on this team, we can compete for a championship." So you should be you're auditioning for Aaron Rodgers right now.
Yeah, very fair.
Period. Las Vegas Raiders 3-0. We know Carr has played extremely well. They have weapons on the offense, receivers that can run, excellent tight end. We don't believe in that defense. What are your thoughts on the undefeated Raiders?
Yeah, now that I watched Denver, I feel a little bit bad saying this, lumping them in the same thing because I think the Raiders are better, but I still have to put them in the not real category because of that defense. Carr's playing fantastic. He absolutely is. He's playing fantastic. But when I think about I think about like a Kansas City, right? Like that offense is dominant and it can overcome the defensive struggles.
Right.
The Raiders are good offensively, but they're not dominant offensively. No. And that to me, so Kansas City can finish at, we'll get to them, but Kansas City can finish at 11-5, 10-6, and just wreck shop in the playoffs, right? Like Tampa Bay, people forget was 11-5. They weren't 14-2, 15-1, 30. They were 11-5. They figured things out during the season, but they had dominant players everywhere, right? And so Carr being fantastic is great, and it levels them up. And so in terms of like a really solid playoff team, yes, I can see Las Vegas as that. Any type of contender, that defense isn't ready. It just isn't ready. Not now. Not from what I'm seeing now. It's not ready.
No, they're lacking a level. There's a level of physicality that I just don't respect with them.
So if I had to do it based what I like what you said about incomplete. So I would say Denver for me, definitely not real. Las Vegas incomplete. I want to see if that defense can just be average at a certain point in time, right? Like when you have like a quarterback playing at Pro Bowl high level and the offensive weapons on the side, kind of like Dallas struggles all these years, especially during the Dak Prescott era. It's just like, just be decent. Just be average. 15th in the league. That's what we need. Not to be spectacular. But the Raiders are not 15th in the league. They're bad. They're bad on defense right now. So I would say I lean not real, but I like your incomplete answer. I would give an incomplete to Las Vegas.
Do we like Denver better than Las Vegas?
No. I like Las Vegas better.
Las Vegas better than Denver. Okay.
Yes.
Gotcha. Based on the quarterback.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and level competition. Like they played real teams.
They have played some real teams. No, they have. All right, we're gonna get a little trickier because these next teams are gonna start to level up.
Yeah.
The Arizona Cardinals, 3-0. Of course, we know what type of division they're in. We both love Kyler Murray. Not like Kyler Murray. We love Kyler Murray. Hopkins is a beast. AJ Green is a tremendous second receiver to have. Trust me, he's paid dividends on fantasy teams many a years for me. Won me a championship. What are your thoughts on Arizona?
They're real.
Yeah.
I don't have a doubt in my mind about them. And I'll tell you what was the ultimate selling point. So they're beating the hell out of Jacksonville, right? Initially. And then Jacksonville gets that long, I think it was a kickoff return or punt return. I think so. It wasn't a fumble or intercession. But they got long. They were celebrating. Yeah, they were celebrating. They was having the time of their lives. And then after that, Arizona just said, oh, so y'all going to be happy about that. And they just beat them to death. At that point in time, I was like, oh, that team's real. Don't mess with them. Yeah, they're real. They're real. The only thing that I can say that I'm a little bit hesitant about is Kyler Murray's ability to get out of trouble can sometimes get them into a worse play.
Gotcha.
Sometimes. And I wonder how that will play off on the road in the playoffs, right?
Right.
Like that's just literally my only wondering. That defense is ready to go. That offense is ridiculous. And Kyler Murray is ridiculous. Once he figures it all out, we're all in trouble. We're all in very deep, deep trouble. Yeah, I can't say Arizona's real. Just
there's no question about it because frankly, there's not a boatload of teams in the NFC that really scare you.
No. They terrify you.
If I were a top team, and I mean, I'm really only talking about the top two teams. Let's be honest. You had the Rams and Tampa Bay, Green Bay to a lesser extent. I wouldn't want to see that team I would be trying to avoid them in the first round wild card. I wouldn't want to be in a wild card to face that team.
Nope.
Like that team that you have a quarterback that can wreck a game.
Yeah.
Like he can wreck it, and you have a pass rusher that can wreck a game.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that team has they have a lot of physical talent. We mentioned a lack of physicality from Vegas. That's not the case with Arizona by any stretch of imagination.
Honestly, I think Hopkins wants to be recognized as the best receiver in the NFL.
Yeah.
I think he's a man on the between him and Chandler Jones, they have some monsters who are on missions, and that's a scary place to be if you're the opposing teams.
No two ways. There's no question about it. Another undefeated team in the South Division of the NFC. Kind of a surprise. I didn't expect it, but has played well. Let's give them credit. The Carolina Panthers defense playing well. Darnold has obviously is a step up from where they were at quarterback last year, considerably. What are your thoughts on Carolina up until this point?
Yeah, I'm gonna lean not real.
Okay.
I'm gonna lean not real. I like what they done. This smells 8-8 to me, just like Denver. It smells 8-9.
You need 8-9. Yes. That one game's throwing everybody off.
Yep. Because the Saints was, of course, a good win for them, but
right.
The Saints we can anticipate are going to be up and down at certain points there. But then they've had the Jets and the Texans as their other games, right?
Yep.
And so I need to see a lot more, to be honest with you.
Yep.
Of the Panthers. I like the Sam Darnold story. I do. And I think he is an upgrade. I think he's an upgrade. I think it's an upgrade for his life in general. And I think he's an upgrade for them at QB. I'm not sold on any of their other weapons, to be honest with you, though.
DJ Moore is very good.
He's good. He's good. He's good.
Yeah.
But we just got finished talking about like Bernard Hopkins, right? Like, so it's like he's good.
Hopkins, yeah, no, he's not that. No, he's not.
He's good, and Darnold is showing that he has skill, but there's a lot. They have a lot of growing that we're going to have to see before I can even remotely go on the real side.
I completely agree. I like the direction. I like the approach. I like the style that they play. They play to their strengths. They're not trying to do too much. There's the thing about you like about Carolina. If you're a fan of a Carolina fan, you're encouraged by is they are establishing a identity.
Yeah,
we're gonna play. We're not gonna try. We're gonna play to who we are, play to our strengths, not try to do too much. Which is to me the first step when you're trying to turn around, have a turnaround type season. But again, there's the opponents. Two of the three opponents have been a joke. We know that. It's more show and prove that we need to see. To be honest, I mean, I completely agree with you from that standpoint. So that's a definite not real to me. I'm gonna put the Rams aside because I have a lot on the Rams with one of our future segments. I'm gonna skip the Rams. I meant to kind of like erase that. So I'm gonna put them aside, save them for the NFC Showdown segment that we have coming up. Because I have a lot on Seattle, to be honest with you. Seattle's 1-2. They are getting just insane quarterback play by one Russell Wilson. A lot of people I heard this in the preseason. People were pumping Seattle to possibly be a Super Bowl caliber team. They're 1-2 right now. Got frankly embarrassed by Minnesota. Minnesota's not very good, but Kirk Cousins did whatever he wanted to against that defense, and Dalvin Cook wasn't even a major factor in that game. I have some big picture thoughts on Seattle. What are your thoughts on them, not only with their record, but just them moving forward?
Yeah, I mean, like Seattle's Achilles heel has been their Achilles heel from the time the Legion of Boom and them boys vacated.
Right.
They want Russell Wilson to be spectacular.
Right. But
then they don't protect him.
Which
is so weird. It's always been weird to me. I don't get it. I don't get why they went this route. To be honest with you, I don't get it. And then probably the thing that is even more damning than that, and that's pretty damning, is that they have not recovered defensively. As a matter of fact, they keep getting worse from year to year.
They are worse.
They keep getting worse. And Russell Wilson can be as great as he wants to be, and he is great. But the places in which you need in order to go to anywhere remotely the heights they want to go. Remember, this is a team that went to back-to-back Super Bowl. This is a franchise that went to back-to-back Super Bowl.
Should have won back-to-back Super Bowl.
Still have their quarterback playing at MVP level. So you can't be like just making the playoffs is okay. You just can't once you get to that point. So the level they're thinking is championship game or higher, right? The NFC championship game or higher.
Right.
And so the two places you can't be weak at are offensive line and defensive line. And Jesus, the defensive backs are just the worst. Just get toasted and roasted at will. And so I mean, I would love to be able to spit specific names, but I don't want to learn Seattle's defensive player specific names. I just really don't.
Well, they have one guy, and that's Bobby Wagner. That's it.
I know who the guy is. Yeah, we all know who the guy is.
Yeah,
we're not talking about Bobby Wagner. We're not.
No, I'm just saying.
He's proven himself. Yep, you're right. No, he's proven himself, and I'm not talking about Bobby Wagner. That's why I said that defensive line and the defensive backs. But anyways, that's their Achilles heel until they decide we are going to invest in our offensive line and the defensive line / defensive backfield. Really, really invest in it. They can only go so far. So it's very interesting that people had them picked for the Super Bowl. I feel like that's people that only focus on quarterback play. And here's a spoiler alert for everybody. Football is a team sport. You do need other players. You do. And you need them to play well.
Yes.
Even when you have a great quarterback. It's true. So if you're only looking at the quarterback, I guess I can see how you got to Super Bowl, although that's even a stretch for me. But when you factor in the entire team, I can't go there. So, man, I really have to pour over their schedule to see if I even believe in them making 10-6, to be honest with you. That division is tough.
The division is brutal. No,
that division is tough.
That division is brutal.
Like I really like they are the fourth best team. They are.
They are.
They're the fourth.
Clearly, yeah.
And 4 teams ain't coming out of one division. So
no.
They got like if we're just literally just talking about that theme of real or not real, they're not real. They're not real. No. It's hard for me to see them making the playoffs. It really is. It really is.
Here's the thing about Seattle, and I was thinking about this a lot last night when I was at the gym about these quarterbacks who have early success, win championships or a championship, and then they get paid, and the franchise afterwards just cannot put a team around them that allows them to reach those heights again. I'm going to put Mahomes aside because it's still kind of too early for that. He basically just signed his contract, last year or so. There's only been one guy who, like Breeze, when he got paid, New Orleans never reached the Super Bowl again. Rodgers, Roethlisberger. So you've had some Hall of Fame, all-time great quarterbacks get paid, and the franchise not be able to, for them not to be able to get back to those heights. Seattle falls into that category as well. The only guy, and people are gonna laugh, but this is true. The only guy to get paid and win a Super Bowl is Eli Manning. He signed the extension. They won the Super Bowl 2007. He signs the extension, the $97 million extension in 2009. They win the Super Bowl 2011. So it's interesting. And again, and here's the thing. Yeah, I get it. You have to pay the quarterback, a boatload of money, especially that level of guy. But let's be honest, college football, there's talent. It's very easy to replenish talent, offensive line, defensive line, wide receiver coming out of college football. College football is loaded with those type of players. It's just hard to find a quarterback, and that's been forever. But other like offensive line, defensive line, those players can be found. It's not hard to find quality players on the cheap to where you don't gotta pay them. Like I don't get it. I don't understand. I guess it speaks to what we were talking about before with with the coaching. It's just the general managers, these front office people haven't been very good.
That's what you're talking. What you're essentially talking about is roster construction.
Yeah,
that is essentially what you're talking about, and what goes into that is the nuts and bolts guys around your team, right? Your scouts, your training staff, your everybody that is in everybody that plays a significant role of identifying key players and keeping those key players on the field. That is a part of the whole thing, from concept of like what type of team do we want to build, how do we want to build it, identifying those players, those right players, and everything like that. And to both of our points, what we're saying is it looks like they got Russell Wilson and said we're good.
Yeah,
and that's actually not how teams are built.
No.
That honestly isn't even really how y'all won the Super Bowl. and got the Super Bowl. So I'm
no.
confused as to your rationale.
No.
I really am.
I know.
Really am.
I don't get. I don't get it. And these, by the way, the same people that were there when they won the Super Bowl are
Yeah.
still there.
Yeah.
Like as far as like the
perplexing.
front office, got the
very
Pete Carroll and Snyder.
It was just like we got. I was about to say Aaron Rodgers. We got Aaron Rodgers won as many Super Bowls. We got Russell Wilson, and we're good. Yeah. And that was a mistake because you actually do need to protect him and put a defense around. Stop other teams. There's lots of different things.
No, but now let me, and I put Drew Brees in that category. To the Saints' credit, they did build a championship roster around.
He just got old. That's the perfect analogy to the situation, Ril, because they dipped heavy after they had to pick Brees. Brees was like, nah, I'm not giving y'all a dime back. They dipped heavy, and it was one draft, right? Like it's like where they really, and that's the thing. Your people, that's why the ancillary parts to your organization is so important once you pay the quarterback that money, because you have to identify those players on the cheap or on the come up. You have to.
Yeah.
It's not just like a luxury at that point in time. It's essential. It is necessary. And so, I'm sure if I talk to them, read all their stuff, everything, what they're saying is that financial obligations, who they has hampered, blah, blah, all the different stuff that they can say. But what it comes down to is you're not doing a good enough job of identifying those other players that can come in and fill those roles at half the price.
No.
You're just not. It's just that simple. You're not. Because, you're just not. The records and everything shows from the time you were last in Super Bowl to now.
Yeah, no, it's no, they like I don't like right now. Again, Wilson will keep them in a number of games. He'll win a few games. We know how great he is. But that team, that team defensively is a sieve. I mean, they you can do whatever you want to them defensively. Whatever.
I mean, like honestly, like we're gonna keep everything all the way real. That's a big part of why he was saying, please get I want out.
Yeah,
he's trying to force the organization to do something different.
Yeah.
He just roll me out there and tell me to run around for my life. Make plays.
We're gonna shift gears a bit. So we know this team is real. They've gotten off to a rather slow start. The Kansas City Chiefs, they are 1-2. They have played a rough schedule. You're talking about at Baltimore, home to Cleveland, home to the Chargers. And by the way, the Chargers always play them tough. That's a divisional game. They always play them tough.
And the Chargers are talented up for real.
Yeah, they're uber talented.
Yeah,
they're uber talented. We know that.
Yeah, they're on the doorstep. Next year we're gonna be talking about them big time. Yeah, if not by the end of this year.
What are your thoughts on what are your thoughts on Kansas City? I have a number of them, but what through the first couple of games, what do you think about what you're seeing? They're averaging. Now again, offense. To give you a couple of numbers for the audience here. They are averaging 30.7 points per game, so they're putting points on the board, but they're giving up 32 points a game.
There you go, and that's the problem. I mean, these guys can score points in their sleep. Like there's literally nothing that is problematic on the offensive side. They score points in their sleep. The defense is the problem. That's the major glaring problem, right? And then, but everybody can point that out. I was thinking about this last night. There's a bit of a Golden State Steph Curry shimmy that's going on right now. Or if we did break
that down.
If we did like a football analogy, it would be the greatest show on turf, right? Where Steph gets into such a groove, Golden State will get into such a groove. I'll start with that since I opened it up, where they'll just start whipping passes around behind the back. They'll just get a little showtime, feel themselves. And then them turnovers start happening. Yeah. And Kerr's over in the corner going, what are y'all doing? Right. Just like Reed was like, yo, we just need this order. His boy Reed went to the hospital. So the special teams coach was just like, yo, we just need to stop turning the ball over. Seriously. Yeah. And so it's just like, and that's why they're whatever this record 1-2 is a total mirage. They'll clean that up to a certain extent. But it's just like when they get into that, like, we're invincible mode,
Yeah.
when they get there in their own minds, they get really sloppy with that football offensively. So there's two things. It's defense, that's way harder to solve. Throughout the season, again, that's the defense. They just need to be.
I would get rid of Spagnuolo. I think it's time for Spagnuolo to go, to be honest with you.
I mean,
they have better defensive personnel than what they.
I think I was talking to my brother about this. I think it's probably going to be mix and match every year, right? Because so much is heavily invested in the offense, they're just never ever going to be able to get the level of talent on defense that would immediately impact. And so they're going to rely a lot on coordinators and schemes, right?
Right.
To do that. And that's going to change from year to year, honestly, because teams are just going to adjust to what one specific team is doing. And Spagnuolo, I mean, let's keep it all the way real. They exposed Kansas City pretty much on every level in the Super Bowl. So nothing came out of that you were going like, oh, Spagnuolo's found the secret sauce in the scheme for them. So he's a good defensive coordinator with average talent. And he can only do so much. And so you're probably going to need to be able to get a fresh voice in there every once in a while. But they'll be playing mix and match pretty much all of Mahomes' career on that defensive side of the ball. And that will just be what it is. All the different things need to happen, like on that defense side of the ball. Bend but don't break, make teams march up the field, give up the yards in between, right? Like with New England, when they invested all on offense, that's how kind of Belichick morphed his defense. Just different personalities out there. But outside of the defensive genius on that side of the ball, but even with the Patriots, Belichick's was the stability part of it, but they rotated defensive coordinators in and out of there. That's especially true. after Cornell left. It was just like a rotating door, a defensive coordinator. So this is the other side of having a dominant offense. You're going to have to give up something on the other end. But with that being said, the defense is the Achilles heel on this team. It's absolutely Achilles heel.
So here's what I'll say about Kansas City. And to your point, they'll be fine. They will be one of the top teams, favorites, towards end of the year. They'll clean this up.
Yes.
So there is, the NFL is hard. Okay, I know that's kind of stating the obvious. You look at the run they've had since Mahomes got there. Championship game, Super Bowl win, Super Bowl runner-up.
Yeah.
So now this is year 4.
Yeah.
So the league has gotten a whiff of what they're doing. And, the talent
gap. Use a stronger word, Ril. More than a whip, the league is obsessed with what they're doing.
Yeah, they're upset. Yeah, they're upset. So to your point, they're obsessed with what they're doing. So I do think the league has somewhat caught up.
Absolutely, they have.
And I do feel like, when you get dominated in the Super Bowl like that, there is that fear factor is not quite there. Where it's not that they don't have that invincibility. Like, we know you're talented. We know Mahomes is great. We know Tyreek Hill, blah, blah, blah. But we saw you get your asses with 31-9. Like, we saw that.
Yeah.
So
it's on tape.
It's on tape. Yeah, no, it's on tape. Little Super Bowl hangover, especially for the loser. And again, the expectation to year in and year out be at a Super Bowl level, not playoff.
Nope.
Super Bowl or bust.
Nope. Mm-hmm.
That is a, that to me takes something out of you. So I think they're fine. I think that they, this team will be, 17 games. They'll be 13-4, 14-3, maybe 12-5. They're not winning less than 12 games. So they'll be in that 12 to 14 range. But I also think that I'm looking at this division. There are no weak sisters in this division.
No.
At all. You're talking about Denver's improved, Vegas is dangerous, and the Chargers are scary talented.
And they all, I watched that whole game, and the Chargers had to say that they, like you said, there's no fear. Everybody's just like, yo, we can't wait to beat them. We can't wait. So everybody's coming at them. And not only giving them just that's the cliche, their best shot, but they're focused and locked in on Kansas City.
Yes. Yeah.
And to your point, they proved to be beatable.
Right.
And when your defense, when your division smells that, yeah, it gets intense.
So, like we were talking about, the audience didn't get the chance to listen to this. We were talking about, little baseball and analogies, things of that nature. You gave a baseball analogy. I'll try to, I'll put one into this one. So, baseball, you have hitter and pitcher. So, a hitter will come up out of the minors, get hot. The league adjusts to them, and then there's kind of this back and forth cat and mouse of adjust, counter adjust, counter adjust. So Kansas City is in a place right now of what is going to be the counter adjustment for their team from teams, just as a team altogether. What's the counter adjustment? Because it's, giving the ball to Mahomes is great. We know we have all these weapons, but you still can't depend solely on just pure talent. Because
I'll
other
tell you
teams
what
have talent too.
is when you're ready. Because I've seen this happen so many times.
No, go ahead.
I think about the Colts a lot. I think about Peyton Manning and the Colts a ton. Probably way more than I need to. For not being a Colts fan. But I watched them bang their heads up against that New England wall for so many years.
Right.
And what, of course, New England did to them was say, Peyton, you're not going to get 70-yard plays, chunk plays. You're going to have to go 18 plays. And it wasn't until he adjusted to that he got over that hump, right?
Yep.
And so talking about Peyton over New England, that was a much more entrenched matchup. Looking at it holistically, what great quarterbacks eventually figure out is that they need to help their defense. They're getting paid a ton of money, so a lot of stuff can't happen on that defense. So actually, and Brady, of course, greatest of all time, figured that out way early on in his career.
Right.
There is so much value in being able to go 14 play drives consistently.
Yep.
Not only do you wear the defense out you're playing, but you invigorate your defense.
Yep.
You shorten the game. All good things happen with all those long drives. But the great quarterbacks who have arms or offensive that can, score 1 million points in a minute, they don't have the patience for that. And I'm watching that happen with Kansas City right now. Teams are, we talked about this first week, the league is adjusted. Yes. They're saying, we're going to give you the run because none of y'all even have the patience to do it anyway.
Right.
So we're going to give you that. Let's see if you can run it 30 times in a game. But what we're going to bet on is that you're going to get your quarterback and your offense is going to get impatient.
Yep.
And they're going to make mistakes. Either your quarterback is incompetent enough to do 14-play drive or too impatient to do a 14-play drive, 12-play drive, 10-play, whatever it is. Consistently, not every once in a while, consistently. And so you can see it. You can see Mahomes holding that ball, not going like in that last game against I would say, not saying it, Los Angeles Chargers. God, it doesn't sound right.
No, it doesn't.
You can see him holding that ball, looking for the big play, not going into check down. Like I saw a couple times where wasn't Hill, but there was, anyways, whatever the other wide receiver's name is, was just like, come on, like I'm here. But Mahomes was looking 60 yards down the field.
Yep.
And then that's what that Steph Curry, the no-look pass.
Yep.
All that stuff is cute when you're winning and when it happens and it goes well. All of it's cute. But when it doesn't, it's just like the behind-the-back pass or the alley-oop, in basketball. Like, yeah, it's spectacular. But when on the simple play, you throw it off the backboard and the guy doesn't, it's like, what? Just do the layup. What is wrong with you? We're in a playoff game. Stop doing that right now. So it's just like, yeah, all that stuff got him on the map. But now to be consistently great, he's going to have to really buckle down and get into the minutia of quarterback play and of offense and how the offense can support the defense because they're going to need to.
Well, I mean, it's what, like we talk about basketball, the basketball analogy is what makes the superstar transcended.
Yeah.
Like a LeBron, like Kobe was. being able to control the entire pace of the game on both ends of the floor. So we know what you can do offensively.
Yeah.
But can you take the pressure off your weak defense?
Yeah. Yeah. And so, like, it was great to your point. It was great for the first 3 years, going to year 4, being flat. I mean, 3 years, Flash, you come on the scene, you're doing all these things. It's like, oh, everybody, everything like that. Now it's the grind of the rest of your career.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can only do that stuff for so long. No. The league catches up.
Oh, they do. And they catch up quicker. They catch up quicker than you realize.
Lightning quick. The league catches up. And then also people's patience wears thin on it.
Yeah.
There's only so many times you can do no-look pass in football. And it's like, yeah, it was spectacular the first 3 times. But then them things start becoming incomplete and heaven forbid turnovers. Oh, nobody has patience for that anymore.
No.
It gets down to like, all right, are you going to win these games?
Yeah. So I think we're on the same page with Kansas City. They'll be fine, but it'll be very interesting. What is Mahomes taking that next step? That will be the question for them moving forward, as far as can they win multiple Super Bowls and can they be a dynasty? So that will be that'll be the question moving forward. But in terms of this season, that team will be fine. They're too well coached. They have too many great players, and they only need their defense to improve just slightly to run off like 8 straight.
Average.
Just be average. Just be average.
Just be average.
Just be average.
How many times do you hear that in your life? Just be average. Just be average. Please be average.
Oh goodness.
They're average. They're a Super Bowl team guaranteed.
Easy.
Their defense plays average. They're Super
So
Bowl.
let's go to. We talked about some spectacular plays. We talked about some teams that are playing well. We'll get biggest winner coming up later on the program. Let's go to some disappointments. Here were my 2. I have 2 major disappointments, and I'm gonna break them. I'm gonna break them down piece by piece here. So the NFC East. So okay, I grew up. Showing my age here. Grew up at a time where you had Bill Parcells, Joe Gibbs, and Jimmy Johnson in the same division. Okay. Buddy Ryan's not even in that same stratosphere, so I don't even include he was in the division, but he's not. Of course, we know he's
great defensive coordinator, but
great defensive coordinator. No, all-time great defensive coordinator.
Yeah,
not a great head.
No, horrible head coach.
You had a division that was the most feared division in football. You had the Giants, Redskins, Washington football team, Cowboys winning back-to-back Super Bowls within a division.
Yeah.
Okay. Fast forward to 2021. The division has Daniel Jones at quarterback. You have Ryan Fitzpatrick / Taylor Heineke at quarterback. You have a Jalen Hurts at quarterback. And you have, of course, one good quarterback in terms of Dak Prescott. It is just like it is just become unwatchable for me. With this division, I was happy. You guys, Buffalo actually did me a favor by beating the hell out of our team, because I actually shifted to the Detroit-Baltimore game, which turned out to be a very good game, especially in the fourth quarter. So thank you from that standpoint, Buffalo, for not making me watch, the entire four quarters of that shit. That shit show.
Misery. Yep.
Yeah, and I'm looking at other divisions like, okay, NFC West is great. The NFC South has Brady and the Saints up, and Carolina and a Carolina team that's decent.
Mm-hmm.
The AFC East has a contender with the Bills and some young talent with Miami and New England. I can watch those teams. I can watch those teams. I've been on New England for the last couple of weeks. Okay, in terms of watching them. Miami too. At least the AFC North. The AFC North is even though Pittsburgh's down, excellent young quarterbacks, and we both love Cleveland.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cleveland's up, way up.
They're up. The stock is up on Cleveland.
And Burrows can play.
Burrow, yes, excellent. Burrow.
Cincinnati has solidified itself. Yeah. I mean, has Yeah,
Burrow can play.
opposite of what's going on in
No,
NFC.
Burrow. We know Burrow is the real deal. So AFC South, okay. Tennessee and Indianapolis play excellent games. Tennessee is a watchable team, very good team.
They're a good team.
They're a good team.
They are.
You know.
They are.
So out of all the divisions, even I go NFC North, Aaron Rodgers. Enough said.
Yep.
That's it. That's all you need. Be honest with you. The rest of the division is bad, but that's all you have. Aaron Rodgers. Every division has a reason to be watched outside of the NFC East. Every single division, like the NFC East, is unwatchable. Now, again, Cowboys are the most polarizing team in football. They're gonna get views. We know that. We understand this, but we know the Cowboys are not going anywhere long term. We know they're not legitimate. They're not a contender. We understand that. So it is like, and to watch this division as a football fan, be putting my team aside is painful. Like, oh my, like geez, like how you can't be this bad as a division. I guess you can, but my goodness, I can't remember a division being this bad for so long. This is not just a 1 year thing. This has been going on for a couple years now.
Yeah. You're being generous with a couple of years.
Yeah, well, three, like at least 4 to 5, 3 or 4.
Because even that year when the Eagles won the Super Bowl, it was very wonky and weird.
Right. Yes. So this is 5 years. This
That's
is about
probably
5
where
years
you go back to. But yeah.
So that's one of my disappointments. My second one, the Chicago Bears. So let me
like here's what, even before you get started, just I do have to say what has been obvious from the very beginning of the season, and what I will lay everything down on that I've ever owned in my life and all the money in my bank account. Nagy is a horrible.
Fire him. He should be the first coach fired. Yes. He should be the first coach fired. That's it. So let me give you some numbers from this game. Shout out to Cleveland. They did what they did what good teams do, beat the shit out of a bad team. So shout out to them. 26-6. Chicago had 6 first downs to Cleveland's 26. Chicago had 47 total yards to Cleveland's 418. Cleveland ran more plays, 78, than Chicago had yards at 47. They had 1 passing yard, Chicago. Myles Garrett had 4.5 sacks. Time of possession, basically 40 minutes to 20. So the score, I'm looking at these stats. The score should have been worse. It could have been much. It should have.
This is bad. I thought the game was bad, and this is stats like, ooh, this is bad.
Y'all bad. Justin Fields, 6 of 20, 68 yards. They got sacked. Justin Fields was sacked 9 times. Yeah.
It doesn't sound like an NFL game you described.
No, it was
like what are we talking about? High school?
No. Yo, it was so bad. I was like, I'm looking at this
NFL team you're describing.
It was hard. It was like I felt bad for Justin Fields. I please get him off the field. Like they're gonna get this dude killed. You're gonna literally get this dude killed. So yeah, the Bears are just, they are just. I'm not gonna say they're the biggest disappointment in the league, but they're up there. And I'm not saying I had high expectations for the Bears this year, but just aesthetically to watch them play and to watch them how they're coached. We talked about it a couple weeks ago. Just no offensive identity. The quarterback situation, how they're handling that. It is a rough deal to be a Chicago Bear fan.
I actually have a lot to say on this. I do.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
It bothers me, but like this is Gates, Adam Gates, New York. It just bothers me to see Harbaugh because you can't assess anything. It is impossible to watch a Bears game and assess anything that's going on the field.
Right.
Because nobody is put in any position to be successful.
Right.
So you can't, there's nothing I can call. It's just like, we had no clue how good, we have no clue how Darnold is until he got out of there and played with somebody else. There's just no way to evaluate him.
Right.
There's no way. There's no way to evaluate what's going on in the Bears until they get rid of that head coach. He's so bad. Like, and it's just, and again, it's just like, why for who? Matt Nagy? Does he have is he a long lost relative of Vince Lombardi? Like, why are we giving him any chances at all?
Yeah.
Like, as soon as it was like, oh, you don't know how to call offense. Bye. Like, what are we doing here for Matt Nagy? Like, what is even happening? So, anyways, so it bothers me deeply. Bad coaching bothers me deeply because
to your point,
you can't do anything. Nothing. You can do nothing with bad head coaching.
And to your point with Nagy, right? I've seen plenty of this as far as the press conferences go with a bad coach.
That's why I say it's gay.
You'll start hearing. This is what you'll start hearing. We gotta watch the film. We gotta I take full responsibility. This is embarrassing. We gotta reevaluate everything. We'll look at everything. You start hearing just these same familiar losing culture phrases that I've heard since I was a kid.
All the time. It's just like, yo, don't the owners study history? Like, yo, this is the end. Fire him. Move on. Go ahead. Sorry. Yeah.
Go ahead. No, you're right. You're right.
No, we've heard it a million times before.
Yeah.
You're so right.
Yeah.
It's always the end. It's like, now I'm going to do an analogy outside of sports, but it's like when the politician messes up, and it's like, I'm not going to resign. I'm going, you're resigning, sir. Like, why can't you see the right or the wrong? You messed up. You're resigning. You got caught in every way possible. Bye.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't me or the person. I got hacked like back in the old.
My account was
know where this is going to end. We know it.
Yeah.
We know it.
No.
I'm suspending my campaign. No, you lost. Leave.
Yeah.
Stop all this stuff. And so every phrase you could not be more accurate. Every phrase he says is a losing culture phase.
Yeah.
Phrase.
That's the one thing. That's the one thing he does have down pat. He has a losing culture phrase in press conferences.
He knows that well. Yes,
he knows that very well. So we'll move on from the.
No. I don't want to be more. But one last thing.
Go ahead.
The reason why it bothers me so deeply, I just have to say that, is because you're the head of the organization. If you're going to hold other people accountable for being competent, you have to be competent. That can't be he's all right. He's okay. No, he's the head coach. And he's showing no competence. Like none. At the thing he's supposed to be the most competent at, offense.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
No. Bye. No. Why are we doing this?
Yeah. No.
All right, I'm done.
No, you're right. No.
I'm not even a Bears fan.
I'm not even a Bears fan either. I'm not even a Bears fan.
I'm so aggravated with this.
Oh, I'm not even a Bears fan either.
Oh, no.
So we'll shift from the ridiculous to the sublime. So you had a couple of NFC showdowns. With the Rams, Tampa Bay, Green Bay, San Francisco. We'll go Rams, Tampa Bay first. So the first major test of Matthew Stafford, he passes it with flying colors. In essence, outplays Tom Brady, throws the ball all over the place. Just rips the Tampa Bay secondary to shreds. And everybody has, by the way, destroyed Tampa Bay secondary. You have talk about them trying to get Richard Sherman. So that shows you where they're at right now. Brady moved the ball, had over 40 yards passing, but couple touchdowns. But it was kind of like you never got a sense. Like the Rams controlled that game from the line of scrimmage. Aaron Donald got loose, and excellent. It was a big. Yeah. It was a I'm not gonna say bust win, but borderline must win for the Rams as far as like if you're trying to compete with the big boys, you want to be taken serious as a Super Bowl contender, you have to win this game at home and catch Tampa early, especially in terms of home field advantage. And those type of implications that could be moving in conference game as well. What were your thoughts on this game, and what are your thoughts on the Rams?
So, actually, I'm going to go off topic a little bit.
Right.
My thoughts on this game is Tampa Bay is going to murder New England. That's my thoughts on the game.
Okay. All right.
I was like, that made me happy because I'm just like, they were gonna get the hands anyway, but now come off a loss. Oh, that's bad. That's bad for New England. Anything bad for New England is good for me. So that was my first thought, honestly. And then the second one is good for the Rams. They need, like you said, Tampa Bay needs to prove nothing. Tom Brady needs to prove, none of them need to prove anything. They'll be fine. Like, I've seen this, they'll be fine. Until Tom Brady is carted off the field or just is like finally drops the mic and says, I'm retired, which I don't think he was ever going to do. Then I have to see it to believe it, to watch him fall off and watch a team he's doing fall off. Like, no. So this is a great win for the Los Angeles Rams. To your point, confidence booster. They needed this, division-wise, all the things. You want to catch Tampa Bay, no matter what they say. It was either I was talking to you or my brother about this, but it's just like, I think I was talking to you a little bit about it. About like Tom Brady is very much the head of that organization, right?
Right.
And he has a very big, mentally and emotionally challenging game coming up next week. Yep. It makes sense that he was a little wonky, and how he goes, the other team goes, and like the Rams capitalize nothing. The Rams capitalize on everything. Tampa Bay, Brady's not going to give you an inch anyways. So you got to take it. If you want it, you got to take it. Yep. And they took it. They went and they took it. And, like it's all smiles right now with Matthew Stafford and McVay.
Yep.
Now, I'm not saying Matthew Stafford is not an improvement over Goff, because he certainly is.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is we haven't seen bad Matthew Stafford yet. And bad Matthew Stafford is lurking there. And honestly, I'm not super impressed by the way the games are being called with the Los Angeles. So I feel like the play calling
what do you think about
accentuate those bad Matthew Stafford games.
What do you not like about the play calling right now?
I think they want to go deep, and I think they want to go deep. They're calling it often. They're calling it often. And instead of being like, a big part of what the Rams did was they ran multiple plays out of similar formations.
Right.
And what I'm seeing more is like Matthew Stafford drop back. I can't even think of the names of the different routes right now, so I'm not even going to play myself and do that. But go deep, for lack of a better word, all the different routes that are there, and then nail it deep. They really want to go push the ball down the field. And I get that. Right. I get that. But not at the expense of what you were doing really well.
Yeah, especially when you have two of the best route runners in the sport with Woods and Kupp.
And Kupp. And also, the running game leaves things to be desired.
It's not very good right now.
No. It leaves
they're missing Akers. They missed.
Yeah.
That was a.
And so when Matthew Stafford was doing those 5 people, I don't know if people remember, because they slowed it down in Detroit like the last few years he was there. But Matthew Stafford was one of the most prolific passers we had in the NFL, right? Like he was pumping out 5,000-yard seasons like it was nothing. Yeah. Or 4,800, like that.
Leading the league in like pass attempt.
Yeah. But that gets tricky with him, because as talented arm-wise as he is
not a very good decision maker.
There you go.
I just said he's not. No, he's not.
There you go.
He's not.
There you go. So you play a razor's edge with that. It will get you to where the Rams are in the playoffs. I don't think it gets you to the level they want to be in the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah.
And so that would be my thing. But great win for them against a divisional rival who they will be bumping heads with. Throughout the
conference rival.
Conference rival.
Yeah.
Who they'll be bumping. So great win for them. Needed that win. All the things to them on that. And I can't wait to watch New England just get mollywopped. I can't wait for that. So I won in this game all the way around. I had a ball watching this game, but
Brady loses, but New England.
I just had a ball. Everything. It was all wins for Robert Sapp in this game, but great win for Los Angeles.
So Green Bay, San Francisco. Green Bay, in essence, had to win this game twice. They were handling San Francisco 17-0. And of course, we know what happened at the end. They get the tight end from San Francisco gets the touchdown. Unfortunately, there were 37 seconds left, even with no timeouts and only needing a field goal. When that happened, I was like, Green Bay's gonna win this game.
That's what he does.
It's Aaron Rodgers. I guess my biggest takeaway from this game was, well, first of all, I'll say right now, Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams are the best quarterback wide receiver combo in the league. I just don't think there's any question about it.
They can do right. They run their routes and
that combo is insane. That is, yeah. And I don't understand what San Francisco was trying to do defensively with single coverage on Devontae Adams up until like the fourth quarter. I don't quite get that, considering that he by far and away is their best weapon. Like I don't understand. So yeah, I mean that's what we know. San Francisco is not what they once was defensively. But I just, from a scheme standpoint, I didn't understand that logic of defending Devontae Adams. Like, you're gonna really leave him one-on-one. Okay. I wasn't impressed with this. I mean, it was a fun game. When it goes down a wire, Crosby is one of the great clutch kickers right now of this generation. There are not 5 more reliable kickers in the league, maybe not 3, in terms of making big kicks. So I had no question in my mind that he was going to make that kick. I just think that these two teams are just not as good as they're not as good as the two teams that we watched early in the day. Well, watched early in the day with the Rams and Tampa Bay, but also just don't feel like that. There's those two teams in Green Bay and San Francisco are not what they were like 2 years ago when they met in the conference championship. Green Bay's defense is still, they played a little better, but San Francisco got hot late. Garofalo took them down, did his job, took them down the field for what seemingly what we thought possibly could be a game-winning touchdown. They're kind of similar. I look at Green Bay and San Francisco, they're kind of similar. They have, obviously the difference is, Rodgers is the difference, but they both will have that one great offensive weapon, Kittle, Devontae Adams. Their defenses are not very good. They depend both a lot on scheme. And, even with San Francisco, it's like you can only scheme so much before you have to have actual players who can make plays and win at the point of attack or beat that guy one-on-one. There's only so much scheming you can do. And I kind of get that sense with Green Bay as well. So it was, interesting game. Rodgers is Rodgers, but I walked away. I heard a couple people saying this was a statement game for Green Bay. They made a statement. I'm like, not really. It's a good win for them on the road against a team that was undefeated. So from that standpoint, you feel good. But I didn't walk away thinking like, whoa, Green Bay, watch out for Green Bay. What were your thoughts?
I don't. So I think two things. So two things can be true at the same time.
Right.
One is that was a fantastic football game.
It was very good. No,
I wanted to go to sleep so bad. And it was such a good game. I couldn't. It was a fantastic game.
Right.
But on the other thing that's true is that, especially you look at Green Bay, they should be Super Bowl contenders, and you have no feeling that they are.
Right.
If you ask me if we were playing the first round, if you ask me San Francisco real or not real, I would say not real.
Not real.
In a heartbeat. Right. So I think they actually overachieved in this game, to be honest with you.
Okay.
And I think Aaron Rodgers is lackadaisical, for lack of a better word, right now. And that
why you say that?
And that with, just his blase attitude with everything.
Okay.
I pointed out a couple things, like if you notice, like the celebrations, like the entire team is like going bananas celebrating a touchdown, and
Right.
he just kind of wanders in at the very end, and people barely pay attention to him. Your body language tells you everything.
No, that's a lot. No, that's a
body
great
language
pickup.
tells you
Great,
everything what's going on with that
pickup.
team. It really is. It really is. And so his competitive juices kicked in. He's not going to be beaten when he knows he can win.
Right.
So that's just kind of like the sense that I'm getting. Like, he will be, like I said, I've said this, and I'll say it on record again. The Aaron Rodgers numbers and the Packers records will be fine. It'll be fine.
Right.
But in terms of the goals, nowhere close.
Right.
And like I said, San Francisco, I think, very much overachieved in that game. Very much overachieved. In the game. But it was a great game to watch. It was so much better than I ever thought it was going to be honest with you. I was ready to fall asleep on that game, and they would not let me. They just wouldn't let me.
It was a very good game.
So two things can be true at once. It was a great game, and both of those teams are, with San Francisco, like I said, I don't even think I'm just going not real on them. And so I'm thinking like 9-7, 8-8. I could go lower. I would have to pour through their schedule. Right. Green Bay, absolutely be like 11-5, 12-4, coming out of that division.
Yeah, they're going to win that division.
Absolutely, they'll be there.
Yeah.
But, I smell another second round championship game exit coming immediately. If not, if they get that wild card, this will smell a lot like Brady last ride in New England.
Yep.
Go out in the first round.
Yep.
If they don't get that bye. So I can see all the things there for Green Bay. What I don't see is Super Bowl. That's what I don't see.
No.
At all.
I've not seen that team. No, I haven't seen.
Well, no, you would need, in order to overcome that man, number 12, that's standing right in your way, you need Aaron Rodgers completely locked in. He was completely locked in last year, and that wasn't enough. You need him completely. At the very least, you need him completely locked in.
Yeah.
And so, if the franchise leader, everything is built on, is not completely locked in this season, you got no chance.
No chance of winning. No.
You don't have a chance.
No.
Brady just doesn't care. He just is an android, a Super Bowl winning android.
Yep.
So, and there are many, many teams in the way. I'm just using Tampa Bay but as we said, there are many, many teams that are looking good in the NFC. Rams, Arizona.
I still think the Saints. I still think the Saints. I still think the Saints.
No. There are many teams that are hungry and don't have the attitude that is going on in Green Bay. The thing that I dislike most surrounding a football team, my football team, any football team, is when things are off. Routines are off. I go back. I remember talking to you back when the Packers were 15-1, and the unfortunate tragedy that happened with Joe Philbin, their offensive coordinator. I don't like that for them. Going into the game in terms of just like whenever football players, especially NFL, is so regimented. So regimented.
Well, we go back to last year, Andy Reid.
Sure. Yep, absolutely. And so I say that to say, if Aaron Rodgers isn't completely locked in, that team like everything is going and clicking as it normally does, and if this if this offseason could attest to anything, nothing happened as it normally did that offseason, you put yourself in a hole in the NFL where everybody else is looking to get to that point where they're clicking and everything is regimented and they're moving in the exact same direction. Aaron Rodgers is clearly, I'm saying, to put a button on it, he's clearly moving in a different direction than the franchise. And that never equals Super Bowl. I'm going to say it. That never equals Super Bowl. And the Packers can't have any other objectives than that. No. Again, we're talking levels to this, right, Ril? Like if we're talking an up-and-coming team, we're talking Panthers. Playoffs, Jackson playoff, all that, that's great. They're moving up, not Green Bay.
No.
Can't do that with Green Bay.
No, that's not. No, Green Bay is like your Super Bowl bus. Yeah.
It is. It just is. You're playing it with a different level of expectation.
Yeah. No, completely agree.
So that's why I feel like that's why that game is underwhelming, because you're watching teams play a good game, but it's like, are they really going to go anywhere?
Right.
to what their goals and what the level of talent suggests they should go? Nah.
No. Couple questions before we get to our big winner of the week.
I love that. I love it.
Couple questions for Sap. Yes.
Yes.
Should Chicago continue to play Justin Fields?
No.
Okay.
And the only reason I say that is because the coach is so horrible.
Right.
I don't know what they will get out of Justin Fields. So Nagy's going to run him into the ground to try to eke out 3 wins, right?
Right.
Where is the benefit in that for your franchise? So somebody should be looking out for the welfare of the franchise. If you're looking out for the welfare of the franchise, you're not playing Justin Fields. Will Matt Nagy play Justin Fields? Absolutely, he will.
Yes, he will.
Absolutely, he will. But if you're the franchise, you should be looking out for your high draft pick. What was it, number 4, right?
Yeah, he was.
Number 4, right? Did he go 4, or was it later than that? Am I making that up?
He was.
Doesn't even. You know what? 7. It might have been 7.
Yeah, he was top 10. He was top 10.
It doesn't matter. Point being, that's the person you put the franchise player on, not franchise tag, but like this is our franchise by where you drafted him and the position that he plays. You should protect him from horrible coaching. Oh, Nagy makes me want to drop all the bombs. So, no. And anybody who's looking out for them, for their organization, should say no as well. But the decision's left with the Matt Nagy. Yes, he will play.
He was actually the 11th pick. So
okay.
But he's the future of the franchise.
Sure. That point didn't even matter, to be honest.
No. So no, I don't. I agree with you. I don't think they should play him, especially under this, like you said, under this coaching regime. I don't care who you bring in. If Andy Dalton's healthy, then you know what, Andy, you just gotta take one for the team, bro.
Yeah, you do. You have no offensive identity. It's like for why put Justin Fields out there? You're not gonna maximize what he does well. So what?
No,
you're gonna put him back there in the same offense that you want Andy Dalton to run? How does that make sense? How does that make sense? Please make that make sense.
Yeah, no, it doesn't make any sense. And I've seen quarterbacks. It's not so much obviously getting hurt, but it's the mental toll. Seeing quarterbacks get mentally ruined by getting the shit beat out of them, and they don't. Frankly, they don't recover.
Talk to Sam Darnold. Talk to him.
Yeah, talk to David Carr. From Houston.
That was bad.
Yeah. Was it Derek? No, was it which one? Davis played for the Raiders. I think it was Derek Carr.
Yeah, that was bad.
Sometimes, but yeah, it was that. Yeah, he had a lot of talent. He had a lot of talent, but they ran him. They killed him. Almost killed him.
Crush. He was sacked over 50 times.
yeah, repeatedly. Like this wasn't just once.
That was bad.
No, you can actually mentally destroy your quarterback with how your franchise is run for lack of protection. And I'm more recent. Fucking Andrew Luck. What they did to him. This guy was going to be a Hall of Famer. I mean, that's sad.
People should fold their franchise just for that one.
Just for that, yeah. They don't
ran a generational talent out of the league.
Out the league, yes. You deprived me of watching a guy who could have been all-time great. Yeah.
You don't get to be pleased.
Bye. And then got the nerve to fix the offensive line when he's gone. That's the thing.
That was some nerve. That was some nerve.
My goodness.
That was.
So
how dare y'all?
We've seen this movie before. Yeah. Second question: will Atlanta trade Matt Ryan in season?
I like how you said because it's will. No, they will not. Should they? Absolutely.
Yeah, they absolutely should.
They will not, though.
They will.
Yeah, they should.
I just don't see. I don't see the benefit. I don't see why would you keep
There's none. There's no benefit. You weren't good enough in the first place to hold on to your agent superstar, to have him retire a Falcon, and now he's aging and you're way worse. What is the point of this?
No.
You will get a quarterback thirsty team.
Oh yeah. No, there's somebody like
that. Yeah. What is wrong with y'all?
Yeah.
What is wrong with y'all?
Yeah, it's going to happen. Somebody's gonna get hurt. Yeah. Somebody's gonna just play. Somebody's gonna get benched. That's coming.
To be fair, Atlanta's not.
No, they're not well. They're not well run. They haven't recovered from the Super Bowl. They haven't recovered from the Super Bowl. They still haven't recovered from that Super Bowl 4 years ago, or 5 years ago now. No, I think they absolutely should trade him. I don't think they. To your point, I don't think they will because I just don't think they're just not a competent franchise. I do think that there will be because this season is like to your point. Season is going to be all over the place, and a lot of teams feel like they can win a Super Bowl, compete for a championship. I do predict that there will be a lot of in-season trades, more than normal. I think you're going to have some teams that do try to go for it. So I do predict that, but he won't be one of them. But he 1,000% should be traded.
Yeah,
1,000%. There's no two ways about it. I gotta give you credit for something. Almost a year later. Well, not a year later. We're basically, back in you said you called this back in January after watching the Browns just whip up on Pittsburgh. Ben Roethlisberger is completely just like when it's a wrap. When I mean it's a wrap, it's absolutely a wrap. And I looked at it wasn't the game was the game, and their offense, they have no identity right now, no running game. The offensive line is not very good. The weapons are not what they once were, so they're kind of they're kind of trash offensively. But I just watching the press conference, and I'm just listening to his comments, and I'm like, yo, there was a time where y'all never lost to Cincinnati, where it was probably illegal for y'all to lose to Cincinnati, and you kind of like accepted it. You like, yeah, got a point to figure out myself. And, we're working hard, we're practicing great, and it's just not, it's not paying off right now, but, we're just going to keep working. It's just, I like, bro, you just didn't sound like a guy who actually believed that this thing could turn around anytime soon. you might as well be retired. You really might as well be retired right now. You sound like a retired quarterback still playing. Like, it's just, it's done. And again, you came in the league in 2004, so it's not a knock that is done, but it is a 100% wrap. 100%.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like you said. It's over when Cincinnati comes and just dominates you. And just go away.
They're not even a good team.
That's just go away. Go away. You are officially, the Browns. Nothing, y'all. You are quite simply the third best team in that or
fourth. You might be you're struggling to be better than Cincinnati.
You're quite simply until you're done with Roethlisberger and start rebuilding, start doing things to reinvigorate that side of the ball. There you have a ceiling, and that ceiling is a playoff exit.
Yes.
First or second round, whatever. Pick a round.
They're not. I mean, this year,
you're right. Sorry.
No, they're not going.
You're right. Those playoff days are over until you turn over from Ben Roethlisberger and reinvigorate that offense.
Yeah.
That's what that win told me. I was like, oh, Pittsburgh's not a threat at all.
No.
That's what that win said to me.
No.
When the Bengals are just like, bye, Felicia. It's a wrap.
They come into your building and do that.
You need to do something else. You do.
Yeah. So that kind of stood out.
Yeah.
Who won the week? I have my person right here. I'll explain why. But for you, who won the week?
Just because you refuse to talk about it, I'm gonna talk about it. Yeah, exactly. So who won the week? The Bills won the week. Right? The Bills won the week. They gave the Washington football.
I brought them earlier. I think I brought them earlier.
The hands.
They did. They call it fade.
Yeah. Nah, I had to say it. I was trying to think who were the absolute winners of this week. In Bills, so I'll stay with my team. Why not? Yeah, in Bills land, it was definitely Josh Allen. Yep. It was frustrating me and irritating me last week how people couldn't enjoy a 35-0 win because Josh Allen didn't play great. Now everything is all wonderful. It's all love in Bills. It's just everybody's back to craziness. Because Josh Allen played well. And so I'll say Josh Allen won the week.
Hey, hard.
I can chill.
It's hard to argue. Certainly you have one of the top quarterbacks in the league and have one of the top teams in the league. The Bills definitely are a legit contender, no question about it. And frankly, fun to watch. To be honest with you.
Yeah, I will definitely say, since we turned this into Bill segment, I'll definitely say we have put some dogs on the field.
Yep.
And I think when I think about like when we were talking about Denver and Carolina,
right?
Teams like that, I remember when we were that team a few years ago, and it was just like, yep, the pieces in terms of scheme and organizational stability, all those things were there. Now that's when you need the play. You need the dogs at that point in time to turn that next page, to get into contender status, to get into perennial playoff participant status. That's when you need the dogs in there to turn the page on that. And yeah. We have playmakers everywhere. And our quarterback's a lunatic. He's just a lunatic that loves playing football.
Yep.
So yeah, like you said, it's a good time. It's a good time right now to watch them play. You're absolutely right. It's fun. It's fun to watch. And then also, like, I would just say last thing, what I was super impressed about was our game plan against your pass rush.
Yep.
And what I was not impressed with was your team's ability to adjust to that.
Yeah, we don't really do the in-game adjustment.
All right, and so now I'll leave it alone because I see you're who won the week, and yeah, this was a week.
So
that is good stuff.
Justin Tucker. So here's the thing about Justin Tucker. Of course, he makes the 66-yard field goal, which bounces off the post, and that's just a classic Detroit loss. Detroit finds way. There's not a franchise that has lost in more ways than the Detroit Lions.
Yeah,
only Detroit can lose that way. When he kicked the ball, like this is going in. Like he kicked the shit out that ball like this. I was like, yeah, this is good. So he kicked it about 65.5 yards.
Yeah.
To be honest with you. Yeah, so I was like, he is so by far the best kicker in the league. It's like not even funny. And really, I was thinking about somebody posted on Facebook or whatever, like, yeah, Justin Tucker is the greatest kicker of all time. And I was like,
slow down,
4-year-old. I said, but here's what I said. I said, not the greatest. He's not the greatest kicker of all time. I think that he's the most talented kicker of all time as far as just what he can do with a football, kicking a football. Like,
here's the ultimate compliment I can give a kicker.
He's a weapon.
Look at Justin Tucker, I think Hall of Fame.
Yes, he's going to the Hall of Fame. No.
So that is the best. No. I mean, it's him and Vinatieri. Honestly, in my lifetime,
Vinatieri's the GOAT.
Him and Vinatieri are the two kickers where I've looked at and gone, you guys are in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. So this is the ultimate tribute. This is the ultimate tribute I could pay a player. The fact that I started researching other players who played your position.
Yeah.
See how you match up with them. Because I was thinking to myself about me thinking about kickers, and I'm like, Vinatieri was Vinatieri, the GOAT, the most accomplished without question. And then we grew up with guys like Gary Anderson was a beast. Morton Anderson was a beast. Jason Elam was a beast.
Yeah.
Vanderjack had a nice strength.
He had a nice run, but
not on that level. No, not on that level.
Uh-huh.
Consistency. Janikowski was a truth.
Yeah.
Gostkowski was a beast from New England. He followed Vinatieri.
Yeah. You start thinking
about
those guys that you named were beasts in normal kicking terms, Beast, right?
Right.
Like Vinatieri and Tucker are another level.
Yes. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, no. I agree with that completely. And
that's why I say, like, that's the best compliment I can give. When I look at you, I'm like, you're a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
I'm talking about a kicker, but you're a definite Hall of Famer.
No, you're a Hall of Famer. Yeah, he's the most accurate. He's the most accurate kicker of all time, over 90%, which is just like, it's just that's insane.
It's just money in the bank. I mean, you just have no worries. Like you said, if the only thing you knew it was going to be straight, you knew it was going to be right on line. It was just, was the distance too much?
Yep.
That was just simply the question. Was it too long?
And
but the fact that they could even attempt that with confidence tells you everything.
Tells you what you need to know. Yeah, tells you what you need. Tells you all.
No other team would have even tried that.
No,
it would even try.
It would have been a Hail Mary.
Right. No, they would just. It wouldn't have been a point. No other kicker could do that.
Yeah. No, I'm saying the team with the play call would have been a Hail Mary. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, absolutely.
So no, he's in a different stratosphere, and like he is so by far better than the next guy. It's like kind of like what Aaron Donald I even say Darrell Revis.
That's what I was thinking.
Darrell Revis. Remember when Revis was
I
made everybody irrelevant as far as who was the second best cornerback. He was that far ahead.
Yeah.
So I when you start talking about players who are just that far, that better than the next person, he's on that level.
Yeah. The gap between him and the next guy is further at almost any other position outside of defensive tackle.
Yeah. No question. No question about it. So, Baltimore, kind of like, they have two, they didn't play well that game. They did not play well at all in that game.
If we were playing that original game, Baltimore, real or not, I would go not.
Oh, so yeah.
In terms of level of their expectation.
Yeah, no.
Because honestly, like I mean, you talk about, I don't see them as a Super Bowl contender.
No.
They are playoff contender.
Playoff team, but they're not Super. No.
But that's not their goal.
No. You smash Detroit if you're a Super Bowl contender. You do what the Bills did to Washington.
I mean, I guess they have another level if you want to say AFC.
I mean, they can get they can get.
But honestly, I don't see them in the AFC Championship game. If I'm keeping it all the way real.
No, I mean, I think if you ask me right now, I think it's a rematch from last year. To be honest with you, I think it's I have Bills Chiefs. That like right now, but it's a long time ago. But right now, those are the two. That's the class of the AFC, right? To be honest with you, I don't. I will never completely trust the Chargers. The Chargers have the talent to be a threat, but I don't. I gotta see more out of the Chargers because they can still do some dumb shit in regards to coaching and play calling, things of that nature, just doing Charger shit. But the Bills and the Chiefs and Bills are the class of the AFC, and the Tampa Bay Rams are the class.
Here's what I think. Like my biggest point is, I think the Browns have leapfrogged the Ravens. The Browns terrify me.
Yes. Oh no, without question. No, the Browns. So the Browns are the team that the Bills and the Chiefs would not want to see.
They terrify.
You don't want to see that team.
No, not at all.
Physical talent.
No. They have Cyril. They have two running backs. I would get on my hands and knees and pray to God they have.
Yes.
They have two of them.
Yeah. They have two of them. They have two starters. Yeah. They have two starters.
Not just starters.
Front line starters. Number ones. Yeah. Two.
Yes.
Yeah.
They have so much talent. Odell Beckham just got back.
Yes.
And everybody's like, man, okay. Yeah. That team's terrifying.
They are. They are terrifying.
They're terrifying.
They are. No, the Browns are scary. The Browns are scary. They are a very scary team. They could shake up. The Browns could be in. The Browns could be in the Super Bowl. Don't be surprised. Don't be surprised if the Browns are in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, they can.
They really can. They're that talented physically. They're physically talented. But they can play with anybody in the league.
Yeah.
You kind of gave me your take on this, the week.
Yeah, I can talk away. Can we do 6 hours on this?
Yeah, go Go ahead.
What?
Yo,
What?
yo.
So my greatest pleasure in life right now is watching and listening to anything New England
Right.
because it's amazing. This is the greatest thing that's ever happened to me. I'm just going to say flat out, say this. This is the greatest thing that's ever happened to me. This is a gift from the heavens in a horrible year. Because their loss, New England's loss to the Saints was so complete and so thorough that already had Patriots fans very, very sad and dealing with reality. Now here comes Tom Brady. But see, here's the deal. And I told my brother, I was like, Patriot angst is going to be at an all-time high. Because they can't go in on the opposing team like they normally would want to. So they have to kind of like tiptoe. And then they can't even defend Belichick the way they want. It is beautiful. So all you hear is people talking out of both sides of their mouths, trying to make things make sense that are totally opposite. At the same time, and I don't know how many Patriots fans you know, but they're the worst because they cannot admit the reality of their situation ever. And so watching, like just in these past 2 days, listening and watching them just be like, yeah, Tampa Bay's gonna stomp us. Just get to that point is amazing. And so before the loss, if you would have asked me, I would have said Tampa Bay wins 31-17-24, right? Like something like that. Now, there honestly isn't a ceiling on what they can do. It just depends on if Belichick coaches the game of his life and that team plays the game of their life in order to not be embarrassed. Right now, you ask me, I'm going 42-10.
I think they're going to get embarrassed, and I'm thinking about the match. I'm thinking about where Tampa Bay is weak versus what New England.
New England has nothing.
New England cannot throw the ball.
They have nothing.
Tampa Bay's secondary. So it's like no, they can't expose that.
No, they have nothing.
So it's like, yeah, Dak can expose it. You know, Rams have weapons.
Nope.
Nah. No. I don't see. I could see. I'll see 38, 10, 38, 13. They won't crack 20 points. They won't crack 20. I don't see them cracking 20 points.
For anyone who is not a New England fan, the joy in this matchup will not be what happens on the field. It won't even be the buildup that the national media has over this week. The joy will be in watching Patriot fans struggle. Just struggle with life, football life. That's the joy. That's the joy. And if you find joy in that, oh, this is heaven for you. And I find absolute joy in that. So I'm going to eat this week up and relish it. This is the greatest matchup of all time. The greatest match. This could not be better. I have no problems with anything that has happened. I could care less about the final score of this game.
Right.
Because I already know. I mean, it's a certainty Tampa Bay wins the game. It's a certainty. So I'm not even worried about that part of it. It is just how much misery can be compiled onto Patriots fans. How much misery?
Yeah. I'll say one final thing about this, and we'll wrap it up. About the Brady Belichick, that whole deal. We did of course, when in the midst of the pandemic, at the height of the pandemic, back in 2020, we did a podcast after Brady signed with Tampa Bay, went through all the layers of that, so on and so on. I think that the pendulum has swung to a point to where, people are kind of like losing their minds when they talk about Bill Belichick. Like from a standpoint of, okay, if you want to say Brady was more important to the Patriots' success, cool. I will always take the great player over the great coach and what have you. I don't think no one's gonna argue Popovich is more important than Tim Duncan. Okay. I really honestly think it's kind of common sense. But this ideal that Belichick questioning Belichick as a coach because he hasn't won without Brady or because you it's just insane. It's really insane to me. Trying to separate, trying to like give Brady all the credit for the success and kind of minimize Belichick's role in that success is really
So I
just
hear
insane.
you,
It's insane to me.
I hear that, but I am going to stop you because
What?
whatever. to that, it would be one thing where I do not have any empathy for Belichick in this situation.
No, I'm not. No,
I
this is not
agree.
empathy for. No, I'm not.
It's
I'm
not
just
even
making a
empathy.
point.
That's the wrong word.
No,
I do not care, and
right.
I think he deserves all the smoke because unlike Walsh in Montana, right? Like in different split, he forced this split.
No. So I'm not even talking about that from the split, from that standpoint of the split. I'm just talking about people just using common sense.
This should never have been a question, Real. That's my point.
Okay, got it. Okay.
This should never have been a question.
Right.
You let him go and he
No, I'm talking about people questioning Bill. I'm talking about people questioning Bill Belichick as a head coach.
No, what they're questioning, they're not questioning his ability to coach football games, Real. What they're questioning is, was Brady more valuable? That's what the argument is. No one's questioning his ability to coach football games because his resume goes way past what him and Brady did. What people are questioning, where the flashpoint of this all was who was more responsible for those Super Bowl wins.
Right.
This should not have even been a question. He made this a situation, so now he has to sleep in this bed. Yep. I get that you have six Super Bowl rings and all the other ones when you were defensive coordinator. Again, he will get his flowers at his Hall of Fame. Right now, you have to live in the bed you made.
Oh yeah, no, you're gonna have to eat this.
Me and my brother had a question. I want to put something up on your board. I didn't talk to you about this.
No, go ahead.
This is good wondering.
Yep.
This is a situation completely compiled from ego. Which one's worse, this one or Cowboys 90s? Jones.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Jimmy Johnson, Jones, Belichick, Brady.
That's a good one.
Both were completely driven by ego. Completely driven by ego. Which one's worse?
The Cowboys. Let me tell you, the Cowboys is because at least Belichick had got 6 rings. Mm-hmm. Jerry, you got 3 and could have had 6.
No, he had 2.
No, you got 2. But
he ended up Johnson.
You got
you ended up so prime that they even got past whatchamacallum's stupidity. Switzer,
yes.
You only got that was Johnson's team.
Right. You got
that
2.
He won that Super Bowl with.
Yeah, no, that was Jimmy Johnson's team. We know that. That's clear.
No, but
no, this Jimmy Johnson
to make how many Super
Jerry
Bowls
Jones, Jerry Jones,
Jimmy have gotten?
Yeah, they could have got 5 or 6 easy. Jerry Jones, and to me, it hasn't even been talked about enough. He hasn't got enough criticism for that bullshit.
No, he is not.
Because that is one of the most narcissistic, egotistical, dumbest moves that you will ever, that in the history of sports, of all professional sports, that you allow your ego to get in the way of a boatload of Super Bowls, boatload,
multiple Super Bowls
of Super Bowls. Like I'm happy for it because as a fan of that division, thank you that I didn't have to witness. It was bad enough I had to witness 3 and 4 years, let alone it would have been like 6 and 8 years or whatever, 7 and 10 years, because they were headed. Jimmy Johnson had that shit. It was a machine. He knew the college ranks. He knew how to manage egos. He knew how to. It wasn't even about.
Still gives me sweats in the middle of the night thinking about them.
No. He knew how to delegate to his coaches. So it wasn't all about his ego, about my genius, offensive plan like McVay or Shanahan. No, North Turner, you got it. Wannstedt, you got it. So and so, you got it. So and so, you got it. I know how to get these. I know how to draft and get this talent and develop this talent, and he was a master at that. So yeah, Jerry Jones, that is one of No, I think it's by far the Jerry Jones. Now, more and
So
more.
I don't disagree. I'm not going to go by far. I don't disagree with you, but I am going to make an argument for the Tampa Bay, for Brady Belichick situation. When we view this 30 years from now, whoever's doing this in history books looks at that, there will be no logical reason why Brady doesn't retire a Patriot. There'll be none.
No, he should have retired. No, he 1,000% should have retired a Patriot. No,
so
yeah, Belichick shouldn't have. How he went down, no.
Knows the spite face. Knows the spite face, right? The reason that Brady is not there is because Belichick wanted to be proven correct. Now, I agree with you on the amount of Super Bowls Dallas threw away. I don't know if that would equal what New England would have won if Brady would have stayed. But here's what I do know. I do know that in any other rational situation, there is no world in which you let your Hall of Fame quarterback walk out that door healthy. That's not a thing that happens.
That should have it should not happen. No.
So, Super Bowl wise, I understand exactly what you're saying.
Right.
But in terms of ego and just cutting nose to spite face, I can't possibly fathom how you get to that point. Everybody, like I'm here, the revisionist history I'm hearing from Patriot fans right now is that Belichick would have kept him if Tom wanted. They just didn't think they could put the weapons around Tom at 40 years old. I'm like, that is
stop it. Yeah, come on.
That is so BS.
No, and then even Belichick. Did you hear Belichick's comment?
Yeah,
Belichick's like, Tampa Bay was just a much better situation. Like, stop, Bill.
Nobody had Tampa on the radar.
Stop it, Bill.
That wasn't that long.
That was lucky. Tampa Bay is lucky to get Tom Brady. Yeah,
like really? Tampa Bay was on no one's radar.
No one's radar.
No one at all.
At all.
We were, as a matter of fact, we were all stunned.
Yes. I was like, what? You didn't? You were like, huh? Tampa Bay? Yeah. We were. No. Good for them. Good for Tampa Bay. But no, nobody had Tampa Bay on the radar.
No, I think it's an argument.
It's a great argument. It's a great sports argument.
I probably do lean your way. Because just your argument is too concrete. Just the number of Super Bowls is just you can't.
Yeah, I mean,
you can't throw away Super Bowls.
No, you can't throw away. You can't throw away Super Bowls, and you can't here's the thing about Jerry Jones. Like, this is the thing that even makes it more. That even makes it worse. The fact that you were so jealous about how much credit Jimmy Johnson was getting. And when you really step back, and if somebody would have pulled Jerry Jones,
you're a billionaire owner of the Dallas, how can you possibly be that insecure? How can
that's next level. That's like fucking. I
understand normally. I don't understand that insecure. Give me the $1 billion and the best franchise in the NFL. You can't tell me shit. Sorry, you won't be able to tell me anything.
Somebody should have pulled Jerry and been like, yo, Jerry, so you do realize that the owner of the team holds the Super Bowl after you win. And the owner and the fact that you hired Jimmy Johnson and fired Tom Landry when nobody liked that move. Like, you're gonna get that credit, Jerry. Like somebody should have told you, like, Jerry, you made those moves.
Yeah.
So what is it? Why don't you believe you're gonna get? What is it with the credit standpoint? You think Jimmy Johnson's going to get more credit than I don't know. Somebody failed. Like I'm not going to blame it on somebody else, but clearly either somebody didn't get in Jerry's ear or Jerry wasn't trying to hear that shit.
Jerry wasn't trying to hear anybody.
Jerry probably wasn't. No, Jerry wasn't trying to hear. Nobody could get Jerry right. No. To this day, Jerry's not trying to hear anybody.
No. Thankfully, his son has become more. For Dallas Cowboys fans, become more reasonable and there, and he trusts
draft picks, and
everything. He trusts his son a little bit more, so he's been able to get more reasonable these last few years. But when Jerry was Jerry, couldn't tell. Nobody could tell him.
Jerry was George Steinbrenner, No. It was like, yo, like that, like, man, he had they should have won. God, that team was loaded, and man, they
like again,
woo, at all positions. Yeah,
still think about
and
that
yeah,
team.
at all positions, at
Yeah,
coaching,
just everything.
assistant coaches, special teams coaches, like they literally that like his entire staff basically became head coaches somewhere. Butch Davis, Weinstead, fucking North Turner, yeah, yeah. What's the other? It was another dude too. I can't think of right now, but it's just man, ego,
Crazy, right? It's crazy.
ego, ego's the. I got it's a book called
Yep.
Ego's the Enemy.
Yep.
It's like it would it's taken down many of criminal organizations, many of you know like Roman Empire. Like it's taken out. We've seen this over the course of history how what ego can do
Yep.
to a foundation, to a championship situation, to just a machine. And yeah, nah, but yeah, New England's there's no reason. There's like no, you're gonna get rid of Tom Brady and make Cam Newton the quarterback, or draft Matt Jones or whoever the other guy was. I forgot his name now. That they cut. That they cut earlier. Besides not just Cam Newton, but somebody else that they cut. So that one. Nah, that one's not going. You got to your point. Yeah, you got to take the smoke. You got to take the smoke from Tom Brady's trainer, from his dad. Yep, Bill. You got to take all that smoke. I'm sure there's some smoke by from Robert Kraft too, that you're taking. Yep, you got to take it all. It's all in the game. All in the game. You wanted to be. Yes, you wanted to head. You were the head of the franchise, but you really want to do this by yourself. Go ahead, Bill. Go ahead. Go right ahead. You really want to do this by yourself.
Yeah, I can't wait for the book to be written on that, like
Oh,
the real
my
definitive
goodness.
book to be written on that,
Okay.
because Kraft has some answering to do in this
Oh
situation.
yeah, Kraft. No. Yeah, he does. No,
He really
Kraft
does.
does. No, Kraft does. Kraft does. Because
Because if you sided with, it's obvious that you sided with Brady initially,
the
right?
first time, yep. With the Garofalo trade.
yeah.
Oh, yep.
So how do you? I don't understand. How do you let your legendary best scorer? How do you let him walk out there just that? I can't wrap my mind around that. I can't.
No.
I can't.
Nah.
And especially as the owner, once you sided with him, he retires a Patriot. That's it. No, we're not having any more discussion.
Nah.
What are we even talking? No.
What are we talking about? Yeah.
No.
What are we talking about?
No.
No.
I'm the I oh no. Bye. Everybody bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
mean,
They'll buy,
listen,
you buy, everybody buy.
Kraft,
No,
like, so.
he's retired a Patriot. You're coaching. If you
Yeah.
don't want to coach, quit.
Right.
That's simple.
Yeah.
If you don't want to coach the greatest quarterback all time, I don't know. I got nothing.
I don't know what to tell you. Nah,
I got nothing for you.
I don't know.
And again, this was not a Ben Roethlisberger situation.
No,
It wasn't a Peyton Manning situation.
No.
Even, I mean, I love to take nitpicks and shots from the Patriots as much as possible.
No.
But even when I was looking at Brady, it's to be like, there's not a lot around him. This is asking a lot.
No. I mean, that was all on Belichick.
Non-existent
Belichick's one flaw as a coach is he's not been able to draft receivers. Period. That's been his one. That's his Achilles heel as a head coach, as far as or as a player development, or a front office person, has not been. He's been shitty with wide receivers.
Well, also here's drafting. And like I said, I literally could go 6 hours on this topic. The other point is he also, and this is the side that I would imagine if Brady would irritate the hell out of me. You rely on my greatness to make up for those flaws in your ability to identify receivers. Yet you crush me all the time. You give me very little credit, everything like that. But you rely on me for that. And yet, when it gets to a certain point, you want to get rid of me? Wait, hold on. I don't get how, like, if I'm Brady, I don't get how that works.
No.
I'm overcoming some of your deficits.
Your deficits, yeah. This is your doing. You drafted this guy. Yeah, you drafted this guy. You drafted this guy.
How does that work?
Yeah.
How exactly does that work?
Yeah.
Please explain that to me, Bill.
Let me get you one. Let me get one last thought from you before I let you go. I forgot. Just came to my mind. So this just shows you just the power of talent. Talent will buy you many chances.
Yeah.
Josh Gordon.
I saw it.
To the Chiefs.
You know my joke. Here's my joke, and I said it's my brother. Here's my thoughts. Josh Gordon must be the greatest football player that's ever lived. He just has to be. Who gets this many chances? Who?
No.
Who? In the history of sports, in the history of life.
Man.
He must just be the greatest person ever. Most talented, most beautiful, whatever. He just has all the titles.
Yo.
Fastest, great, just everything. Because literally he can do nothing to destroy his career, even though he tries his hardest.
Yes. We know how this story is going to end. Like,
of course we do. There's no spoiler alert here.
No.
Of course we do.
No.
At a certain point in time, who's crazy? Josh Gordon, who wants to be let back in, or the NFL just keeps letting him back in? And the coaching staff that keep thinking that they can be the support system for him.
I'm like, whatever the interview process is, he's knocking it out the park. Like, his interviews are just must
he's
be
the
dope.
greatest football player that's ever lived.
He gotta be.
That's simple. No one gets this many chances. No one.
Man, when I saw that, I was like, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Sure.
Oh man, we go. I guess that's
There's a point. Like, remember, I don't know what the third suspension, second suspension, whatever.
I've lost track.
I've lost track. It used to be. And for anybody who knows I have great empathy for substance abuse and all blah, blah.
No, we're not. We're definitely not.
After the seventh chance, I've got to be like, you know what? You might not be learning this lesson.
Yeah.
You might not. Seven chances is a lot. That's
I actually feel. I mean, to be honest with you, I actually feel. I feel bad for him because he keeps getting like. This is not helping his substance abuse by getting.
Well, I'm not even going to get into that. There's that whole thing.
That's a whole no. That's a whole
great empathy for that.
Yeah, that's a whole.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
It used to worry me what team he was going to sign to. I saw that. It didn't even make me think twice. I'm like, will Kansas City be better? Well, how much will Josh Gordon even get on the field?
Right.
One.
Right.
Two, once he does consistently get on field, how long will he stay in the league?
Yeah, I mean, it got to a point where it doesn't matter the situation.
Exactly.
It doesn't.
Exactly. So it's like, okay, not even interested. Huh?
Yeah.
Some radio stations, some people have talking points for tomorrow. That's good for them.
Yeah.
But in terms of moving the needle in any direction, nah.
Yeah. Nah. I mean, and like.
And honestly, if
I'm rooting for Josh. No, I'm rooting for Josh Gordon. No. In life, forget about football. I just want to. I generally want to see him win in life. I just want you to get your life together. Forget the sports, forget fame, whatever. I just want you to get your life together. That's all from my standpoint in terms of my thoughts about Josh Gordon. I don't even care about the football. I bring it up because it's a football talk. It's a football.
The word that you're looking for, and again, I have great empathy, but not necessarily. The word that you're looking for is enabler. The NFL is an enabler.
They definitely enable him.
Right. Yes. And so it's like, until what you're talking about, until that person hits whatever that bottom is, then that recovery process doesn't go. And so why I don't have great empathy is he's just going back through the enabling cycle again.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like there's no spoiler alert to this story. We know exactly how it's going to end.
Yeah.
We know exactly how. Once he's out of the NFL and building and constructing his life, then I can be much more of a fan of just him and rooting for him and his success. But I know this is a horrible situation, right? Yeah. It's like if I'm an alcoholic and I'm like, Cyril, guess what? I'm going to go work at the bar.
Right.
No,
you're like, it's not a good idea. No,
that's not a good decision. Yeah, you'll make some money, you'll do everything like that, but that will be destructive for you.
Yep.
Going back to NFL is destructive for him.
Yes, absolutely.
There's no point in rooting for him while he's in the NFL.
That's true. No, that's true. That's a great point. That's a fair point. No, that's a great point. No, it's a great point. So, we gonna wrap it up for week number 3. A very interesting week as we head towards October.
One more, just to take it off of that. Sorry to cut you off on that. I was just thinking, what's the quarterback went number 2 to Peyton Manning? What's the name? Ryan Leaf, right?
Leaf, yep.
Like he had to hit a bottom, big time bottom.
Yep.
Before he could start to recover. but that process happened when he was ejected out of the NFL.
Yes, he had to get away from sports. Yeah,
It'll be one thing if this was like a Chris Carter redemption story, right? Like getting back into the league helped him recover, but that was 3 suspensions ago.
Yes. Yeah. Nah, he's not.
That's the point of thinking the NFL is going to be beneficial for him.
No.
All right.
No. All right, man. I think we covered everything. It was again a very fascinating, interesting week 3. A lot of plots, subplots. Looking for the games are not great for week 4. To be honest with you, I took an early look at them. Not, you got a couple here and there, but that's what's gonna make the Tampa Bay New England game stand out that much more, because there's just not a lot of good games. Not a lot of quality games in a week.
The NFL cleared the runway for this.
Yeah, clearly.
They cleared the runway for this.
They did. No, they did.
Yep.
So this will be, this will take center stage. Be dissected, analyzed to a point where you'll, you loved it. You love the New England. Yeah, you love the New England point of view, standpoint from this. So yeah, listen, looking forward to it. I'm sure we'll have plenty to talk about this time next week in regards to that situation. Probably more about the fallout as far as the fan reaction in the actual game, because I feel like we know what direction the game's going, but just the fan, the fan reaction from the New England fan reaction.
Let me ask you a question really quick.
Go ahead.
You're not as much of a New England hater as I am.
No. I hate them, but
what would the score have to be to make you change the game? Is there a score?
I'll be honest with you. I don't think there's a score.
Okay. Same.
I don't think there's a score. I don't think there's a score.
Because that was 78-0.
I don't think there's a score, because I want to hear the.
I probably wouldn't be able to sleep that night.
Oh man, I want to hear the Collinsworth Michael try to spin.
I have everything on loop.
Yeah, I don't think there's a score. No, I want to see the Belichick sideline reaction. I want all that. Yeah,
honestly, this will be
post game. Yep.
I said to my brother, Belichick. This is when Belichick will retire. Belichick will retire when he doesn't hold that power over the New England faithful, media, everybody like that. When they actually start asking hard questions and waiting for him to answer them. Don't let him do his BS anymore.
Yep.
He's still in that space.
Yeah, still got control.
An amount of power.
Yep.
But man, taking the ass whooping from Brady will. There's gonna be so. Woo, they're not gonna just let him go. We're moving on to whoever the hell else is playing after this. Ain't no moving on, sir. Right here.
You're going to take. You're going to deal with that smoke. It's nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. You take that beating. They're going to be thirsty. They're going to be like the press is going to be like some vultures. They're going to be like vultures waiting.
You can already tell. Just watch some of his press, like that question that was asked of him about Brady. You can already tell. This isn't cool, comfortable Bill right now. He's stuttering and stumbling.
Yeah. No.
Doesn't have the same fire in his eyes. Get out of my face. That's a stupid question. None of that. None of that. He's trying to stay on the message, but that message is looking real shaky.
They're going to, they are, like, the New England media is, I honestly believe the New England media is rooting for an ass whooping just so that they can come at him with no questions. I really do.
That'd be great. I would love to see that. I would actually love to see people hold his feet to the fire.
I would 41-10, and then Bill has a proper Bill like 20 minutes later after the post game. Oh man, I cannot wait. Like I said, what happens after the game will be more intriguing than the actual game. I'm gonna make that prediction. The fallout will be way more intriguing than the actual.
Made me think of something else. This is my final point.
Go ahead.
When you were talking earlier about as a coach, I would never ever do that. But here's what I will say. I will say that the NFL now and forever has been a sports. It's a what have you done for me lately league.
Right.
As much as we would like to just rest on the 6 Super Bowls, it's like, what are you doing right now? And you need to be held accountable for what you're doing right now. And the way that he's carrying himself and acting is Brady with Belichick. 6, we're always in contention, AFC Championship, perennial, probably going to the Super Bowl again, and who knows what will happen. You don't live that life anymore. You need to stop acting like it.
Yeah, I kind of put him in the same category as I feel. Getting back to the NBA a little bit as I do right now with Popovich.
Yep.
Like the way Popovich carries himself, even during the Olympics, like the brash and you can't question me. Like, motherfucker, look at these lineups. What do you mean? You put this bullshit team together. You mean you can't question that shit? Yeah, like what?
Do you mean?
Like what have you done since Tim Duncan? Like, chill out. Like, calm down. Like, calm down. Pipe down. Like, so you don't. That's like humble yourself somewhat. Like I'm not on.
You will get your flowers doing your.
Yeah, you're gonna get some. No, yes, you're gonna get your flowers.
Now ain't the time.
No, don't.
Now. No,
you can't carry yourself with that same bravado when you were winning every other championship and Tony Park and all that. Nah, B, them days is over. Like, nah, B, you're a civilian now in many respects. Like, nah, B. So you humble yourself, bring yourself down a little bit, just a tad. You don't get to fucking do these shitty interviews. Popovich do the same shit as Belichick, but maybe more entertaining with the TNT interviews and rest in peace to Craig Sager, how I used to talk to him. But they both I get a sense that it's about a wrap for both of them. I really kind of get that sense, to be honest with you.
I mean, like, if you're thinking about it, it's like, when you have the greatness that they both had, when that greatness leaves, it's time for you to leave too. We all just wait.
Especially for Popovich.
We wait together. Hold on. We did all this damage.
Belichick loses Brady. Belichick loses Brady or gets rid of Brady. Popovich is even worse because he even following Tim Duncan, you had Kawhi Leonard and that got fucked up. So after the Kawhi Leonard, I definitely would have bounced. I would have bounced. After Kawhi Leonard, I'm out. Like, I'm coaching. You think I'm gonna be coaching DeMar DeRozan and fucking LaMarcus Aldridge? Shit.
Here's the simple fact that Bill Belichick cannot come to grips with. Not only was Brady integral in terms of making up for the flaws of your team, you will never ever, and this is the commonality between Popovich and Belichick on this one.
Right.
Unselfish superstars are even rarer than superstars. That's not a thing that happens.
Yeah, no.
And so you got one. Don't ever count on that coming back.
No.
So how are you gonna build this team without that?
No,
both of you built.
Like Tim Duncan was the greatest. Tim Duncan is the greatest teammate ever.
Contenders.
Yeah. Brady took less money. No. Brady taking less money. Tim Duncan,
that's not a thing.
No, that shit. No, you won't even sniff.
No,
not even sniffing that.
So it's not even about finding an equally great player.
No, the personality, the leadership.
Personality.
No, the leadership, the culture.
No.
Yeah, that empowered those two players.
Yeah.
Duncan and fucking Brady empowered your culture.
Yeah.
They empowered your culture. So
I know that a lot of people will say things like, as long as they want to coach, they should coach. And I get that. And that's fine.
Yep.
But again, then save that old school energy for another time. Because you're right now. So you need to get all this smoke that's deserved of your record, right?
Yeah.
Popovich and the Spurs have how many championships? How many conference finals?
Right, since Duncan.
They've
been to one conference final since Duncan.
Right. And a steady fall off since then. So you need to accept that same energy from people.
Yep.
Right? Yep. New England, you falling off a map. Like, it's not even like a precipitous. You went right off the cliff.
You're off the cliff, yeah. No.
That's
you went off. Not even discussion, yeah. It's not even discussion. You are not. No one's looking at you saying, like, watch out for New England. No, we're not.
So how dare you get up there, Belichick, and say we're moving on to this next? No, we're not.
No,
we're not.
Nah.
Why did you make that call? Why did you do
Yeah.
that? Like every other coach in this league gets.
Yep.
No, you're not a but like not in the not when you what you've done for me lately mindset. No, we're not talking about the 6 Super Bowls. Again, that's the Hall of Fame speech.
Right.
We're talking about right now. Right now?
Yep.
Nah, I don't see no Super Bowl ring.
Nah. Nope. Nah.
I see your defense, like the most complaints that I heard from the Patriots fans after that was the inconsistency of the schemes you are running, both offensively and defensively. And that is coaching, sir.
Yep.
So
no, I mean he gotta say, listen, with the credit comes the blame. So you got a majority, you got a lot of the credit, at worst, half the credit for the 6 Super Bowls.
Good. It was great.
That's great. You gotta take the blame for these fucking missed draft picks, this lack of talent development, or talent development with some of your skill players. No, you gotta take that smoke. You gotta take that smoke.
Here's where I'm gonna stop saying this is my last time. You're just gonna have to say go away. Here's where the energy from me comes from, specifically at the Patriots, because a lot of people ask me why so much, not so much Brady, but so much Patriots. I'll tell you why. Fans' memory, as you know, ours run long. I remember when Belichick would not call off the dogs against us.
Yep.
When we were absolutely helpless, he just kept beating us. Okay, you can do it now. You absolutely can do it now. But one day, these tables will turn. One day you will be on the opposite end, and we are at that day, sir. So,
we're
not moving on to nothing.
No one's calling out the dogs against the Patriots.
Nope, we're not moving on to nothing. You're gonna live in this pain of losing every single week, and this pain of being average,
every single week,
pain of getting thumped by teams that you used to beat on like drums. Yep.
Ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun.
And that was very much Belichick.
Yep. All right, sir.
Yeah.
You could talk. I know you could talk Belichick for 10 hours. That like reinvigorates.
I keep trying to say
that is some real live hate. When it invigorates you. Like, yo, I'm enjoying it.
Now I was tired. Now I'm up. Probably go watch us. We're gonna put on replay of us beating them both times last year.
Yes, and that's one last thing. By the way, New England fans, please take care of those Super Bowl DVDs. Take care of them.
Yeah, that's true.
Polish them, clean them, keep them clean.
Here's what's very cute about the New England fans so also me and my brother talk about this a lot. A big part of our aggravation is only at a certain segment of New England fans, actually. It's the ones we grew up with in the late 80s to early 90s.
Right.
Even after, honestly, we talk about this a lot, even after they went to that Super Bowl with Drew Bledsoe in 94. And honestly, even after that first victory in 2001, Patriot fans were still very wishy-washy. The ones we grew up with and around.
Yeah.
I said this so many times. All the Patriots fans that are currently around my age, I'm 41 years old, so around that age, within like a 5-year sphere, they were all Giants fans. They were all Giants fans. Yep. All of them.
Yep.
And I talked to my peoples in Boston, and when I told her this story, she was like, that's not true. Then she went back home, and people were like, that was definitely true. So you got the segment fans I'm not irritated with are the old school fans who were there doing all the losing.
Right.
They did a ton of losing.
Yep.
And of course, if you were a kid growing up in this era, of course I have no blame for you. Of course they're your favorite team. Of course. I have no blame. But what's cute right now about the kid fans who never knew the losing part is they actually think this is only temporary.
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh, you guys do just think this is just going to be a year or two. Like, no, homie. Welcome to 20 years of suffering.
Yeah, nah.
You might get a 2-year run every now and then, maybe. But this is back to NFL reality.
Yeah. No.
So I very much enjoy like looking at them just being like, you don't even know the suffering.
You don't.
You don't even know.
No.
You don't even know.
No.
Yeah, you're going to be rationalizing about every Mac Jones because Mac Jones ain't going to be nowhere near this team. in a few years. You'll be rationalizing every Mac Jones that comes down the pike. This is going to be the quarterback that changes. Like, yeah, I've lived this life. I've lived it. It's long.
No, it is. It's long.
long.
Yeah, I'm currently living it right now. So
Yep.
Welcome to the club. Welcome to the club. Yeah,
welcome to the club.
Welcome to the club. Everybody has to go through it. Everybody has to go through it. Everybody got to go through it. We got plenty of room.
Over.
Get comfortable.
Some people can get out now.
Yep.
You're here to stay. Got a nice seat for you. Comfortable chair. Put your feet up. You're gonna be here for a while.
Oh goodness. All right, man. That's a perfect wrap it up, man. As always, thanks to Rob Sapp for joining the program. We will talk to him next week.
All right. Appreciate you. Thank you.
All right.
See you later.
No question about it. That's going to wrap it up for this latest edition of the Ril Dil podcast. This podcast will be up probably tomorrow. I'll put it up tomorrow. We will be back. I will be back later in the week with a podcast. We'll be back, of course, next week with Mr. Sapp Martin talking about the NFL Week 4. Have a great, great rest of your evening. I'm out.